Hey guys, my name's Lee from Lee's Kitchen. Today we are making waffles. Hey guys, my name's Lee from Lee's Kitchen. Today we are making waffles. So I've been using this waffle recipe for years from All Recipes, and I think it is fantastic. My waffles always come out crispy and they are delicious. So I'm going to show you how to make them at home using a waffle maker. So today I'm doing a half recipe because it would take me 10 years to actually go through it all. So I'm going to do a half recipe today. So for the full recipe, you'll need 2 eggs, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 3/4 cups of milk, half a cup of vegetable oil. So I think using a vegetable oil instead of butter actually makes it come out crispier. So I think that's the reason why it comes out so good. Then we've got a tablespoon of sugar, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of vanilla, but we'll just measure it with our hearts, and also cooking spray if you need it. I typically don't in my one, but in your waffle maker, you might need it. So the first thing we're going to do is get the waffle maker heating up. So I'm going to have it on probably on a medium high heat on the actual waffle maker. I'm going to turn that on and make sure it's all heated through. And then we're going to make the batter. It's so easy. All we do is just put everything in the bowl, whisk it up, and Bob's your uncle. Pretty easy. So let's do it now. First of all, we've got our flour, and then we've got our baking powder, sugar, pinch of salt. Then I'm going to add a milk. So you might need a little bit of milk depending on your flour. So if your batter does come out really thick, you might just need a little bit more milk in it. So we're going to put this in for now. We might need a little bit more. Now 1 egg. And then your oil. So I use rice bran oil for most of my cooking, and you can tell it's a bit darker than your other sorts of oils. Most neutral oils are quite clear and everything. This is a bit darker, so that is why that's so dark. And then vanilla, I said half a teaspoon, but measure it with your heart. And then we're going to whisk it all up. Now for me, I think that is just a little bit too thick, so I will add just a little bit more milk, probably about a couple of tablespoons or so. When I make my waffles, I usually like a looser batter, almost a bit runnier than pancake batter. So let's just add a little bit more. And for my waffle packet batter, that's how I like it. Quite almost like pancake batter almost. And also it would just depend on your flour. So if you're using different flours, I typically use bread flour for everything. So that's why I probably need a little bit more extra liquid. So I picked this waffle maker up from Kmart here in Australia. In case you don't know, Kmart Australia is completely different compared to the US one, and it is actually thriving compared to the US one. I usually don't like buying stuff from Kmart because it's usually lower quality, but I think this waffle maker is fantastic. I find I don't need to use any spray oil or anything on it, so I won't be using any oil today, but if your waffle iron tends to do stick a little bit, do use some spray oil on it. So now we're going to ladle some of the batter into the waffle maker. So you never want to overfill it, or else it's just going to explode out the sides. So I'm using about a ladleful of the actual batter, and that's about half a cup's worth. You might need just a little bit more, just depending, but you don't want to overfill your waffle maker or else it will just ooze out the sides, as I said. Now close your lid and just turn it over, and then you're going to wait for the light to come back on. And then when the light comes back on, it's ready. Flip it back over and open it up. Golden brown. And I'm just going to use my asbestos fingers to go and pick that up. You can see how crispy they are. I think they turn out amazing. So when I made this recipe, it made 5 waffles and I made a half recipe. So this will make about 10 large waffles. And so you use that as your judgment of how much butter you're going to need for feeding the family. Toppings for waffles are just endless. There's so many different things that you can put on it. Today I'm just doing some maple syrup and some whipped cream. But there's so many different ways that you can actually have them as well. And as you can probably tell, I sound a little bit different at the moment, and that is because my microphone decided to die halfway through doing the recipe, so I've had to just do a voiceover for the rest of this. So I hope you try this waffle recipe out, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe, and hope to see you soon.